Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Joey G. What's going on? Ambrose versus Rollins, Hell in the Cell, pay-per-view is the future of WWE. This Sunday's Hell in the Cell, and I know I say this about just about every WWE pay-per-view. You know what I mean? I even said it when I was watching TNA pay-per-views, that this is going to be the pay-per-view of the year. I really think the Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins match, and the Cena Orton match, I'm going to go through that whole history starting tomorrow about Cena and Orton. Every match they've had, I'm going to break it down. It's going to be like a 13-minute special, and it's going to be good. But going on Ambrose and Rollins, that match is going to be great. Last night, as you saw on the tape, Mick Foley came out, and he said, I want to say hi to an old friend. And, of course, it was the Hell in the Cell. And, I mean, if you think about it, Mick Foley, cigarettes. What's up, cousin Mikey Noor? I just heard your text message. That's right. Click for life. You know it, brother. For life. Best friends for life. Me, you, and Stace, the click check. And Grayo and Talia O'Neal. The five of us. But you know what the mainstays are. You know what I'm saying, Mikey? But Hell in the Cell, and I want to break it down real quick. You know what I mean? Hell in the Cell is a great match. But I'm going to break down the top 5 best Hell in the Cell matches ever. Okay? And I'm going to do it, and I don't want to be real long, but I'm going to talk about it. Then I'm going to go and talk about a couple other things, too, in wrestling. Okay. I'm going to go from worst to first. Number 5, and it's a three-way tie. It's from Bad Blood 2004, Triple H and HBK, Hell in the Cell, their final meeting, the end of their feud, kind of how Cena and Orton are having on Sunday. That match at Bad Blood 2004 was great. I mean, that Bad Blood was just great. I mean, it was after WrestleMania 20, beginning of the summer of 2004. And I remember watching that pay-per-view, and that's when the Raw had their own pay-per-views, and, you know, SmackDown, that's when SmackDown was... Actually, at that time, I thought SmackDown was better. But you know, Evolution, that's what Triple H was a part of then. Him and HBK toured a friggin' house there. It was for no title. It was the main event. I mean, they ripped each other from shred to shred. Triple H got the win. Great match, though. Also tied for that is Mick Foley versus Triple H, No Way Out 2000. That's the match that made Triple H the guy. Because if you remember, Austin was out then. This was February of 2000. Right before WrestleMania 16, WrestleMania 2001. Probably the worst WrestleMania ever, I think. And McMahon in every quarter. If you would have put Chris Jericho in the main event of that fatal 4-way at WrestleMania 16, it might have been a better WrestleMania. But instead, you put the Big Show there, and that's what made it suck. Or you put Mick Foley in it. And Mick Foley got retired at that Hell in a Cell. That was great. I mean, Triple H backflipped him, and Foley went through the cell. I mean, it was a great Hell in the Cell match. Like I said, that match made Triple H the star. That made him the ring general that he is. You know what I mean? That match put him on the pedestal. Remember, like, before that, he was like, I'm the game, you know. He was with the corporation. He was with DX. I mean, he turned DX into the DX Corporation, which I thought was pretty fat. You know what I mean? That's what made Triple H the game. You know what I mean? That's what made him like, okay, this is the guy we're going to go with. You know? And he still wasn't even full. Well, I mean, the storyline, he was with Stephanie, but he was still going out with Chyna then. He was going with Chyna. I think he started having the affair with Stephanie in the summer of 2000. That's what I read around then. Remember, it was the Unforgiven Philadelphia pay-per-view when Stone Cold returned at the Wachovia Center. Then it was the FU Center, the First Union Center. And Triple H, remember, he beat Kurt Angle, and Stephanie kicked Kurt Angle in the nuts. And Triple H pedigreed him and pinned him. And he grabbed Steph and kissed her. And you could just tell emotion. So I dropped my glasses, my dirt sheet. And Triple H beat him. And that's, I think, when, like, you know, he was still going out with Chyna in real life. But I think that's when the Triple H-Stephanie affair started. And then Chyna, I mean, it's your own stupid fault. You were popping so many Xannies. You didn't even know what you were doing. That Triple H was fucking Stephanie. You know what I mean? And I mean, Chyna's good. I mean, I'd pump her onion too, but Stephanie, I mean, everything was changing. I mean, that's your own daughter. Look what Vince was doing to her. Vince had her breast, you know, implanted. I mean, really implanted. I mean, she went from like little bit to wavoom. I mean, And I always thought Stephanie was hot. I mean, even in the beginning. But she went to Va-Voom. Okay, back to the Hell in the Cells. And the tie for number 5 would be, I bet you don't, some of you fans will remember this from 2009, Hell in the Cell. DX versus Legacy. The only match that Ted DiBiase Jr. had a great match in was Hell in the Cell 2009. Shawn came back to help. Well, no, actually they fought at SummerSlam. They fought Legacy, but Shawn, was back, and he fought. It was right before his career ended, and he teamed up with Hunter. The Clique, just like us, Mikey Norton, and they fought Legacy. It was a great match. Shawn got locked in the Hell in the Cell with Ted DiBiase and Cody, and Triple H had to go in the back and get bolt cutters, and he came in. And then Triple H and Shawn just kicked the living shit out of Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase. I mean, it looked like Triple H was a freaking madman. It looked like he was possessed by Satan. I mean, he was just, boom, beating the shit out of all. And then Shawn got back up, and he was sweet chin music and everybody. Great Hell in the Cell match. They're all three of them, and Edge versus The Undertaker. SummerSlam 2008, when The Undertaker gave Edge the last ride to hell. That was a great Hell in the Cell. So there's 4 Hell in the Cell matches tied for the 5th spot. So now let's get down to just one Hell in the Cell match, number 4. The 4th best Hell in the Cell match ever. Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker, No Mercy, 2002. You can find it on YouTube, the full match. What a match. I mean, like Brock Lesnar said, 2002 was the year of Lesnar, but this year was the year of Lesnar too. But 2002 was too. He came in and he just conquered. Won King of the Ring, beat The Rock, their first match ever for the WWE title. Jumped to SmackDown, was the face of SmackDown. Triple H was the one supposed to go to SmackDown, but he didn't want to work Tuesdays, and that's how. And Triple H has the balls to come out and say Brock Lesnar. I'm Clique, and I like Triple H, and he's part of the Clique. But Triple H, you're a bitch, Brock. He already broke your arm 2 years ago at SummerSlam, and you tapped so quick to him at the Staples Center. And what was that, SummerSlam 2012? Yeah, that's when Punk defended the title and won against John Cena in the Big Show. CM Punk, me and my cousin Mikey, we all know, best in the world, CM Punk. Best in the world. He had a good Hell in a Cell match, too, against The Undertaker, but it wasn't sold that good. Of course, they had The Undertaker bury him, you know what I mean? But nobody will bury CM Punk. And I hope CM Punk does come back. I hope he goes to TNA. I really do. I don't want to see him in Japan because I want to go to Japan, but we don't get Japan in America. We don't, at least here in Philly, we don't get Japan. Maybe on the internet sometimes I can find it, but we don't get Japan here in Philly. For real, we don't. So, CM Punk will be back, and I believe it'll be in TNA or it'll be in GFW. May the force be with you, Jeff Jarrett's company. And, I like Don Tony and Kevin Castle, but, hey, give props to Jeff Jarrett. He really never drew a dime. He didn't. He is a good wrestler. That's about it. He does. Karen Jarrett's hot. If anybody's got a problem with Karen Jarrett trying on clothes and people saying, a guy's going up there and saying you're hot, who cares? She is hot. She's a MILF. You know what I mean? So, I love Don Tony and Kevin Castle. They're great. We would be great together on the show. But like I said, my cousin Mikey Noor is going to be joining me real soon, and we're going to take over the world, and that's it. Just like Maya Lansky and Lucky Luciano. That's me and my cousin Mikey. We're taking over the world, and that's that. For real. And no one will stop us. No one. That's dead serious. I didn't threaten nobody. No, that's just the way it is. We will take everything and everybody who makes money, who's out there selling whatever, and we don't make it in the entertainment business, you'll be paying us. Because it'll be just like the old days. Because me and him are Maya Lansky and Lucky Luciano. For real. That's how it is. But it's going to go in wrestling because I have faith in the Lord Jesus. And we're going to make it as wrestling Hall of Famers telling it like it is. The Howard Stern, the Jerry Springers of pro wrestling. All right, let me get through this Undertaker. That Brock Lesnar-Undertaker match was great. Brock Lesnar won. If you all remember, I had on a picture on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Brock Lesnar standing on top of Hell in a Cell like this. Standing on it with the title like this. Because he's a bad motherfucker. That's why. For real. He's a bad dude and he kicked ass. What's up, D-Mac? Come in. Come in. I want you to see D-Mac, the guy, my little brother, who's a part of the clique as well.
Joey G.
Say what's up to my cousin, our cousin Mikey Nori.
The clique, we out here.
And you know, would you out?
No, I was just coming down. I don't know you're doing the show.
Yeah, I'm doing the show about Hell in a Cell this Sunday. You come to Buddha's? I don't know if I'm going to go to Buddha's or I'm going to go to Mikey Nori's and watch it. But you want to come?
The Eagles Cardinals there at 4. But well, I don't know. I'll talk to you when you're done.
All right, yeah, I'll talk to you when you're done, Danny. That's my brother D-Mac, because you said, like I told you, cut more muscles on him, he'll look like Brock Lesnar. But yeah, that was a great match. Like I said, Brock was standing on top. Okay, third greatest Hell in a Cell match ever. This is, some people might have this as number 1. Taker and Mankind. I mean, Taker threw Mankind off that shit. Memory, I mean, that was, like he said last night, Mick Foley will never forget when his tooth was in his nose. I mean, The Undertaker threw him off the Hell in a Cell. He threw him off the top of the Hell in a Cell. I remember it was in the old Igloo in Pittsburgh, and all you Pittsburghans, that's what I can call you, is, you know, you're Pennsylvania, but New York's still closer, so I'm still in New York more than I am a Pittsburghan. I mean, is that what you call them? Pittsburghans? I mean, what's your hero up there? Ben Roethlisberger or Mario Lemieux? I mean, come on. Philly for life. But, you know, that match was great. You know, Taker and Mankind. It was just Mankind getting destroyed the whole match. Then Terry Funk came in and asked Taker to stop, and then Undertaker beat him the fuck up, too. You know, it was great. Great Hell in a Cell match. King of the Ring, 1998. And that was in Pittsburgh. That was that's the third best ever. Second best Hell in a Cell match ever. From Vengeance, 2005 in Las Vegas, Nevada. For the World Heavyweight Championship. The champion was the World Heavyweight Champion was Dave Batista against the King of Kings, Triple H, in their third match. Back and forth. And let me tell you, Batista won the title from Triple H at WrestleMania 21. Then there was Backlash. And I thought in Backlash it would be maybe a double disqualification. Then they'd have a match the next Raw pay-per-view. But Batista beat him fair and square again. Then they had Hell in a Cell, and I'm thinking Triple H is going to win the title back. This is right at the beginning of the summer of 2005. Right before Raw went back to USA. Like, that summer they were on Spike, and then in October they had the homecoming, they went back to USA. And they just tore down the house Hell in a Cell, and Batista beat him. And I remember after the match, I mean, that's when blood was still allowed in WWE, and you didn't have black and white covering it up. And it was just a great match. I mean, they tore the living shit out. I mean, the 2x4, I mean, they had Barbie out there. That's Mick Foley's, you know what I mean? I mean, Edge versus Mick Foley, that wasn't even a Hell in a Cell match at WrestleMania 22. That might be the greatest match ever in my book. I mean, that match was great. Edge versus Mick Foley, WrestleMania 22, hardcore match. Look it up on YouTube. One of the greatest matches ever. But the greatest Hell in a Cell match ever, and you know what I'm going to say. The greatest ever is always the first ever. The first ever Hell in a Cell match ever. The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, with the Clique. Back then it was just him, Chyna, Ravishing Rick, and Triple H. That was it. The Clique. Then it was Shawn against The Undertaker. And Shawn, I remember he pile drived the cameraman, and Vince was doing commentary, and he said to Vince, get these fucking cameramen out of the way. I mean, this is when Shawn was the man. Yeah, he might have been all zanned up, and he might have been on a couple other things, but he was the man. That's what sells. Controversy creates cash. And if you don't believe that, then you're an asshole. Straight up. Controversy creates cash. People don't want to see Mr. Nice Guy. Nice Guys finish dead last. They do. And bad guys? Well, I seem to be doing all right. I'm not a bad guy. I got a great heart. It's just I don't kiss people's asses, that's all. But Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, that was just a great match. I mean, Shawn did get his ass kicked the majority of the match, but that's when Kane debuted. The lights went out. I remember my brother Mikey, that's D-Mac. D-Mac was 2 years old then. This is that was October 5th, 1997. At the Kiel Center, now known as the Scudderade Center, where Survivor Series is at this year. What do you call it? And also, Orton and Cena, the winner of that, gets to face Brock at Survivor Series. So we know Randy Orton's going to win because it's in his hometown. So it's going to, and you can tell Randy Orton's going to go back to being just Randy Orton, not a face or a heel. You see how he is. But the greatest Hell in a Cell match, the first ever, and Shawn won, and from there he became champion. It was the Montreal Screwdriver. This is Joey G, Mikey Noor, and the whole clique. I'm out. Peace, Joey G for life.